What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. You can email us, PackersTotalAccess@gmail.com. You can text us, 865-658-5824. Joined alongside Tim, live in Green Bay. We got Emilio in Tennessee here for a little Victory Monday talk about the Packers' big win over the Arizona Cardinals. Before we Thank you, Ja. Before we jump into it, let's give a so like I said, Victory Monday edition, guys. We're gonna have a blast. It's gonna be a little mini party, a little extension of the post-game show from last night, which, by the way, great feedback on the post-game show. Appreciate everybody and the kind words. It's really cool to see everything booming right now with the channel and the podcast. Everything's just growing like a weed, and we can't thank y'all enough for being a part of it. I know we got a bunch of people already in the chat in here, man. Too many to mention. Everybody. I see Mr. Larry. We're going to call him out. And United Bates, a couple of the old school ones. We got Dennis Shook in here. So I'm telling him what he's in the chat saying right now. Coach Lynn in the house. We got Prince, Mike Perry, John Schmidt, Chris N. Everybody in here. Emilio, if you'll keep an eye, both you and Tim, keep an eye on the chat. If there's something there that we can hit on, let me know for sure. So let's get this party started here, man. This is kind of a tradition when we do Victory Monday. If it's available, we like to hear what Coach LaFleur had to say in the locker room last night immediately following the dub. Thought this was great energy as the Packers tweeted out, said it's always about the ball. Right, here we go. Here's Coach LaFleur, also known as Tupac LaFleur, in the locker room after that big win against the Cardinals.
What we talked about all week, complimentary football, 4 quarters, from start to finish, man. Give it up for yourself. It's always about the ball. We finished +2 today. We had KB with the forced fumble. Evan Williams with the forced fumble. John Money with the recovery. KB with the recovery. And then Kenny Clark with the recovery. How about K9 setting up a touchdown? Hell of a job, K9. How about our offensive line paving the way? 38 carries, 179 yards. How about my man Jay Love was 22 of 32, 258. Play with that man. Christian Watson with the touchdown. Jay Reed with the touchdown. How about this guy coming back? Romeo Doubs with 2. That was a great team win.
Let's go back on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Just here to tell you, Pack is back.
You heard it from a fan right here.
It doesn't get any better, Victory Monday. Listen, we've had a chance to kind of sleep on it, guys. What's the first thing that comes to mind? I'll start with you, Tim, after the big dub there. I know mine, obviously, Romeo Doubs. I'm still just, as Jacob would say, grinning like a possum in a dumpster, right? I absolutely love the fact that he got all the love from the teammates, coaching staff. I know there are some people that still believe that that wasn't the case. It is what it is. I mean, they were talking about how he and Coach LaFleur kind of embraced after the game, and it was cool to hear Doubs kind of talk about it too on the surface, just going, "Hey, look, it's all about ball. It's all about the team." I don't think there's any more friction there. There's a lot of people that disagree, but those are the same people that were trying to rake Romeo Doubs over the coals last week. Tim, how do you feel right here, man, about this game coming out of this win out of Lambeau against Arizona, man?
Yeah, definitely. On the offensive side of the ball, that was my big takeaway, man, is not only the way Rome played. Rome played a Romeo Doubs type of game, right? Mr. Reliable, running good routes, making plays for his team. And, there's, friction is non-existent. You can see that there's tape evidence of this in this game, pre-game, post-game, during the game. This team embraces Romeo. There's no bad blood in that locker room. There's no animosity. You can tell this team is coming together more and more every week. And honestly, I'm happy for Rome. I had a feeling he was going to have himself a ball game. And, the stat nerds won't like the numbers or whatever. But, hey, man, 2 tutters. Great in the run blocking schemes, too. Rome had a couple of key blocks in the run game that helped us. And just thought it was a great team win overall. But definitely happy for Romeo Doubs. Whatever he's going through in his personal life, this type of stuff is going to help him as he deals with it. You got a team that supports you. You want to get a vibe check on that wide receiver room, play back the Romeo Doubs touchdowns, and watch that team celebrate with their guy. I still believe Rome is a leader. He's just got his own style of leadership. And I had said this before. I'll say it again. He's coming out of this suspension better as a player, better as a person, made comments about communicating better, things like that. So, hey, mistakes are only bad if you don't learn from them. And clearly Rome learned from this little episode with the no call, no show. And we're moving forward, man. That's my biggest takeaway. This team is united. And you could see the reaction there at the end when Coach LaFleur read off Rome's numbers. And that team loves him. And I'm glad he's a Packer. Certainly not a coward in my book. Just put it that way.
You had to throw that in there. I like it.
You saw the way X was screaming. He was saying, "Yeah, like come on now, you get behind your guy." So I think that Rome's crushed it. Tim was saying it the whole time. I think Romeo's going to have a game, and man, I'm glad he did because you just see that kind of love and team commitment. It was a mistake, couple days. All right, I messed up. You had a bad week, so let's just put it behind us. I mean, you get 52 of them a year. You get 17 of them with a regular season game. So let's just make the most out of it. All right. And I'm happy about it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like I said, man, Victory Mondays are always the best. 2-0 for this agrees, saying Victory Mondays are always the best. No doubt about it. Mike Hayes in the chat said, you guys give some of the realest content. Always love your views. Hey, we appreciate you, Mike. Thanks for swinging through, man.
Thank you.
That means a lot. And it really does. Like I hear some people do shows and stuff, and it's hey, we're going to do what we want to do, and the hell with the fans. And what we wanted this to be, and one of the reasons it's called Packer Fan Total Access, is all the fans coming together and talking about the game and doing it in a respectful manner, obviously. So we're always going to say what we see, right? If you see it, you got to say it. What happened? Why did it happen? Whether it goes with my personal opinions or it doesn't. Same with Tim, same with Emilio. But we really appreciate that, Mike. Thank you so much, man. You're always welcome here, bro. Coach Lynn says run game was on point yesterday. Coach, was it ever? And what's crazy is like you look at the yards per carry, like for Josh Jacobs and stuff, and there were several times that you seen they were really loading that box and trying to shut down the run. And, of course, every time it happened, it seemed like the passing game kicked open as well. But I'm with you, Coach. It was just one of those grind them out games. And going back and watching, I made my third pass through the tape today, and we got Chalk Talk cut up. I just got to go through and label all the plays and dissect it and everything. But we came away with 13 plays is what we ended up with. And, man, they're a blast. And I'll tell you, one of the first play on Chalk Talk, 1st and 10, first quarter with 11:26 left, was a 14-yard run by Josh Jacobs. Nothing fancy, right up the gut. I'm telling you, it really set the tone. And you leaned on that run early while that rain was really pouring down. Then once the skies opened up, hey, let's go ahead and start shooting the pill around the yard, right? And that's exactly what happened. So
that run game was taking off, man. What they had almost 180 yards. So that's big. Keep us moving, and it's what's going to win us games late in the season. The fact that we're doing it now, you got a little test of it, like you said, in the rain. That's big.
Yeah, definitely. Dennis Shook with the super chat. Thanks, Dennis. Appreciate you, buddy. He says, Goots 2024 draft is insane. Heck, all of the offseason. Amen. It really, it's kind of bittersweet because you could see this is what happens when you have a true post safety, right? And it looks like we've got two, to be honest, hell, possibly three now. And it's the reason that I always list the post safety. What I mean by post safety is when you're in cover 1 or you're in cover 3, it's that guy that predominantly plays center field for you. And that's what X is. However, they've got so much faith in both Javon Bullard and Evan Williams. They're really moving X around too. So you kind of got multiples that can do that. It's a tier 2 position of importance for me, man. Again, tier 1 on defense, edge defender, 3 tech, which is defensive tackle. And then tier 2 is mock linebacker and post safety. We might have our mock too, boys. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to show you guys some stuff here in a little bit. Actually, we might just do it right now. Let's do it before we're going to get into the PFF grades and all that stuff too. But I agree with you, Dennis. Thank you for the super chat. Heck of an off season for Goody for sure. So when I say we might have our future mock, I'm going to show you a couple things here. Okay. First of all, watch Edgerrin Cooper here. This is just a 1 yard gain. You're going to see him shoot the gap. All right. You see him right here in the middle, playing right in the middle of the defense. Notice that Quay is on the weak side of the formation. So he's playing Will right there. Watch Coop get in there. No hesitation. Bang. Didn't get tricked by that little outside cut. Run stuff, right? Moving on to the next play.
And I love that he was already stepping that way with the running back in the sidecar left. He knew 80% chances going right.
Definitely. And then you've got this is a short pass to Connor, right? James Connor for 4 yards. But watch Coop on this play. You see him again right here. Okay. And in this situation here, it looks like he's actually playing Will, right? Here's your tight end. That would make Quay the mock. And that's what we're talking about. They're very interchangeable, right? Now watch Coop. Get back. All right. Read it. Bang. Great tackle, right? It's just to me, the game doesn't look too big for him, right? It's really exciting. That was a couple kind of what we would call stops, right? You stop the play, whether it was a run or a pass, you kind of got up there and made the tackle. Now, check this out. This is what I mean by a true mock. All right. And it's kind of hard to see from the sideline, but it's the best view to get it with. So what I want you to key in on is notice that he's already mugging the A gap. And we talked about this. We got this question, I think, from Carly, where we were talking about sugar spine and stuff. He did it all day long with Kyler. And it was hilarious because usually a spy will drop back 1.5 yards, 2 yards from the line of scrimmage. He was staying right at the line of scrimmage like, I dare you, boy. Tuck that ball and run. I dare you. But right here, you see him mugging and Quay's playing off, right? They're disguising. They're showing a little sugar. Now Quay comes up. Quay's actually blitzing. Now look at – you see Cooper flip his hips. He's playing Tampa 2. Watch him pick up the 3 here from across the formation. See where his eyes are, right? He's on the 3. And look at this. Stride for stride, right down the seam. No problem, right? And that's the play where Gary hustled all the way across the formation and caused the pressure on our boy Kyler Murray. So, again, those are the things that I'm noticing with Coop. This is a great view right here from the box cam. Check this out, the end zone cam. Look at him get back, eyes on his work. You see Quay bust through right here. Now look at Gary, relentless, all the way across the formation, That's what causes the incompletion. So, again, when it comes to Edgerrin Cooper, what you're seeing with him, not only can he play the run, obviously he's got the athleticism. We've seen that he can scrape on the blitz. But, man, he could cover the seam too, Tim. We might have our guy, bro. We might.
Here's the guy.
This might possibly free up Quay, too, to think a little less and them kind of play off each other. I hope that's the case, really.
I agree. And, add Edgerrin Cooper to the list of rookies that aren't playing like rookies on this team. I mean, you talk about Goody cooking in this draft. We brought us some players in, some day one guys, showed up ready to go. And Cooper's one of them guys who just, I don't know, man. He looks better each and every week. I don't know what the snap counts are at. I want to say he was close to 40 this week. We kind of had our own little side predictions on would he crack 30, 35 snaps. I think he did this week. Don't quote me on that. But the more he plays, the better he looks. The same is true with Evan Williams, like we said on the back end there. But when I talk about not playing like a rookie, that first one you ran there, if he makes a mistake and bites and then rushes on that play and doesn't recover out into that Tampa 2 coverage, man, we're smoked on a play like that. And those are the type of mistakes that rookies are known to make, and Cooper just looks like a guy that a natural linebacker, right? Like, is there anywhere else you would see that guy playing other than where he is on this field? I mean, natural middle linebacker. We talked about his FBI in the preseason. Matt LaFleur was extremely impressed with him, with what little we got to see from him really during training camp, kind of having an abbreviated training camp with some of the injury issues. But, man, he's healthy now, and we got him right when we need him the most, and things are starting to click there. And I agree, Clayton. I think this is going to do wonders for Quay Walker. It's going to showcase some of his versatility, get him in some of those sets where he's not the Mike, and, can utilize the pass rush as well as his ability in coverage. When you got a guy like Edgerrin Cooper coming up in the wings, and we haven't even scratched the surface on, Tyron Hopper, another, really young, talented linebacker that we got back there. So the future looks bright in the linebacker room. I think we all as fans just need to be a little patient and let these guys grow and grow together. We'll see what happens, but I'm excited about Coop for sure.
Yeah, since you mentioned Tyron Hopper, these are the special team snaps, 15 special team snaps. So pretty cool to see Hopper contributing there. Now, you were asking about the snap count for our boy Edgerrin Cooper, 38 this week. So what is that? It's either 7 or 3 more. Which one was it? Do you remember last week, Emilio, how many snaps he had?
I think we were here at about 30 last week.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think he went up. But what caught my eye is also he's 38 with Evan Williams. I think that's key. I think that set where they bring Evan in is where they bring in Coop, more like the nickel look. But I hadn't really combed through that much, but that's where I kind of saw it. I saw that we were sitting in our 4-3 a lot at the beginning of the game, with Eric Wilson and McDuffie in there, and then kind of got away from it. But those two on there together, that's crazy that you have that much trust. But, I mean, we did it with our offense. Just throw the rookies out there and see how they do. And it's paying off for us.
Dennis Shook with the super chat. Sorry, I missed it when we were showing the film there. He said, was that Preston Smith in coverage? Free Joe Barry. So, yeah.
I think you meant fire Joe Barry.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Either way, it works for me. But last year we seen it. We seen Preston and Gary dropping the coverage. And what are we doing? And it was like the first game of the season this year. We seen both defensive tackles dropping the coverage against the Eagles. I was thinking, why ain't anybody saying anything? What's going on here?
Maybe we could play footage from the other 31 teams in the league that do the same thing too.
Over and over and over again. But so obviously here with the snap count, Keyshawn Nixon, Xavier McKinney, Quay Walker played every single defensive snap. Javon Bullard played 54 snaps, 93% of the snaps. Jair Alexander played 79% of the snaps. Kenny Clark got 76. Evan Williams only 66%. And look at the impact he made, man. That is just wild to think about. He also played 11 snaps on special teams as well. Edgerrin Cooper, 66% of the snaps, as well as Rashawn Gary. Preston Smith, 52% of the snaps. Carl Brooks, 50% of the snaps. So he got 29 total. That's awesome to see Carl getting more and more snaps. Obviously, he scored real high on PFF. We'll talk about that here shortly. It's just interesting to see kind of who got the most snaps. You see Eric Stokes down to 28%, which was 16 snaps. So that's kind of how that's shaking out there. The big thing, too, is, again, the big one that sticks out to me, guys, is Jeff Hafley absolutely loves Keyshawn Nixon, and I think he's playing pretty good ball, man.
Right. Keyshawn's locked down that outside spot basically now, or at least on the field at all times, and then dependent. So that's when Eric Stokes will come out and cover. But, I feel bad for Stokes. I thought he did decent for a second there when he was up against Marvin Harrison. Then it's like, boom, he's off the field. And that whole time Keyshawn's been on there grinding. So that's tough.
Jen Wright said X mocked up was great too. I haven't seen that yet. Have you guys seen that as Xavier McKinney mocked up?
Not yet. I haven't seen it.
Well, I bet that is
gem.
Carl K says lots of good work by the PTA team. Appreciate you, sir. 2-0 for this says someone get Emilio a cannoli in.
Please.
That ain't no problem. Well,
Harry Cheese says I actually heard people complaining about Love's play this game. Ridiculous. Oh man, Harry. I was telling the guys, I'm losing my mind. Like we win by, what was the score again?
34-14.
34-13.
34-13.
And it's like people immediately, well, this went wrong. That was like, what are we doing? We were 5.5 point favorites.
Newsflash, things go wrong every single game for every single team. It's part of football. We
covered the spread by like 3 times the amount. What are you expecting?
Yeah.
I'm not talking to Harry Cheese is with me here. He's going, what are we complaining about? Even the interception that Love threw, Bo Melton slipped. What do you want him to do there, right? And I got to be real with you guys. Nostalgia overload. When Love dropped that pass in the bucket in front of 13 defenders, I know there's only 11 on the field, but it felt like 13 defenders. I immediately went
over the middle.
Yes,
over the middle, dropping it in the bucket.
Woo. I was just like, I'm digging this. I can't believe I'm saying what I'm saying, but I'm digging this, man. This is a lot of fun. Watching this dude just go out there, just the absolutely chuck and duck to Romeo Doubs. And it's just like, as soon as he threw it, I went, it's 1-on-1. Knock it down if you have to, Dobby. And Dobby just fading back, grabbing the pass, getting it inside the pie. This is a blast.
That was a net throw.
If you're not having fun,
Yeah.
If you're not having fun watching this team play, man, you need to take a laxative or something, bro. You're all bound up. You gotta let it go.
You heard it from a fan right here.
Because there's gonna be games this year, I promise you, where we go, man, they played like horse crap. There's gonna be those games.
Mm-hmm.
Why not enjoy these when you're winning by double digits? I just don't get it. I don't get it, man.
I love it, man. That's trusting your teammate, right? He knew Doubs was in single coverage, no help over the top, pressure in his face. You got three options, right? Chuck it up to your homie on along the sideline and let him make a play. You take a sack, which is stupid, or you throw the ball out of bounds. And we got a gamer. I really feel like he's like a hybrid of Favre and Rodgers. I really feel like it. He's got that heart of Brett Favre, man. I'm going to try and win this game with one throw if I can. And man, it makes you a little nervous as a fan, but God, you got to love it. It's fun to watch.
You think God never farted?
That's right. I still think it was a great ball, man. That was nose down, diving right at the front pylon. That's exactly where you want that throw.
Mm-hmm.
It made chalk talk. It was a dandy. It was just the way he chucked it up too, and people were going, man, he just lobbed it up. You put a little air under that for Romeo Doubs. Again, worst case scenario, I think that falls incomplete. And the only bad part about it, and we'll talk about it on Chalk Talk, he had Christian Watson running butt naked through the trailer park on a shallow cross, but he drops back, and before he even gets to Watson, he's got the guy in his face. So it's just fade away. And I think it was supposed to be one of those kind of, let me put it out there where my guy can get it or it falls incomplete. Maybe put a little too much air under it. But nonetheless, man, it's touchdown. It was a blast, man. I came up off the couch for that one. Ari Iron Miner says, I'm with Rome. Let's see here. Jen Wright, Scoot, and Dobbs made my heart melt. The whole team, you could just see, and like Tim pointed out in that locker room video, they absolutely adore this dude. And I'm telling you, that's why I want to say this. People were ragging on Bill Huber, all right? I don't think anyone should rag on Bill Huber, right? Like, he reported what he heard. Guys, it may have been true. It might not have been the only thing that was going on, right? But to me, after all the smoke is settled, the way it feels to me is Dobbs had some personal stuff going on. He no-called, no-showed, which I don't care what the issue is. You can't do that. And you have to suspend him for that.
Yep.
Right? And it's amazing how, and this, I'm not talking about Bill Huber. Bill Huber I didn't hear Bill Huber do this. I'm talking about other people that covered it throughout the week. They still haven't mentioned what Romeo Doubs, the comment he made about his family. They haven't even mentioned it.
Yep.
And that's like the most.
I heard it. You heard it, right?
Yeah, that's the most.
He's a soft-spoken dude. You had to kind of actually listen to him talk, but he did slide that in and give us some info that, he made a comment paraphrasing that he was trying to keep his family together or get the family together. Yeah. Hey, man, you got to respect that.
And you don't know what people are going through. And again, it doesn't mean you don't suspend them. I understand that. You got to suspend them. But yeah, I don't know. It just kind of bothered me. I'm with you though, Jen. That was an awesome moment. That's the type of stuff that brings the team together and special things happen in the season. Mm-hmm. Harry Cheese says Romeo equals quiet killer. He had that serial killer look in that game. That's the other thing. I've heard people complaining about he doesn't show emotion. He doesn't show he's happy. You need to show that you're happy.
What? Everybody's different, man.
Bro, go watch me play high school baseball. I looked like I was the most angry human being on the face of the earth.
And you were having the time of your life, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's everybody responds differently.
Yep.
To say this, so you want all of them to walk around like they're happy. All right, here we go. We're all like, dude, you're in the heat of the battle. Like you're out there trying to make a play. You just dealt with one of the roughest weeks of your life. And what I hear when I hear people say that is, I want you to fake this. I want you to fake it. Don't be yourself. Go out there and act like something you're not to make me happy. I'm sorry, man. I can't get on board with that.
And he does that. He does from time to time. He expresses himself. I mean, we saw on the Tutter with Scoot, they had their little celebratory dance they did
and you
together.
see Jordan doing it too.
Yeah, these guys have that, and Rome will crack a smile. You see it from time to time, and laugh and things like that. He's just not a super outgoing, demonstrative personality. Like I said, I made the comparison with Jair. Like, you're not gonna have a team full of Jairs, and you're not gonna have a team full of Romes. You're gonna have a mix of all these personas and personalities, and there really isn't. There's nothing wrong with it. I kind of like it. He's like the silent assassin out there, and it's like the great Vince Lombardi said, right? Act like you've been there before. That's Rome on every touchdown. You see him just turn and hand the ball to the ref. Another day at the office. I love it. I really respect that, and I wish people would stop criticizing him for being himself. I think it's great to see out there, and a lot of respect for Romeo Doubs.
Right. We love Truck because he's vocal, but we can't love Romeo because he's quiet.
Right. Yeah, and I
Amen.
relate to Romeo more than anybody else. Like I get that. I get like when he caught. That's the other thing too. Like one of my favorite players of all time. I'm going to lose my Packer fan card here. One of my favorite players of all time was Barry Sanders. And I'm telling you, to this day, it's my favorite celebration. How he would make all 11 guys miss on the field, scamper for a touchdown, hand the ball to the official, and go to the sideline. And I'm telling you, the guys on the other team are going, dang, this dude, he's going to come back and do it again. Like this, go to him.
Please.
And when you see Doubs do that, it's more impressive in today's game where you've got coordinated celebrations and all the hoopla and fanfare that our game has become now, which I think is good. Don't get me wrong, but it is kind of refreshing, right, to see a young, year 3 player that's just a total pro out there. And I don't know. I respect it. You took the words out of my mouth, Clayton. I was thinking Barry Sanders all the way. That's a definite comparison when you talk about how they are on the field, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Greg Ross says a coward. Did someone call him that? Yes, they did. And everybody has been DMing me going, say who it was, Clayton, say who it was. I know I'm not the only person that heard it. And listen, I'm not out here to call people out and be like, hey.
I'm not going to, so quit asking.
That's right, Coach Saban. I'm not getting on Twitter to try to cause a big fight. All I want to do is put a tweet out there to let that person know, listen, we heard what you said, and you damn well know you wouldn't say it to his face. And now that all of a sudden the teams rallied around him, the coaching staffs rallied around him, they absolutely love that dude. You heard what Coach Steno said last week. He was all, I can't wait to get Rome back out there. There's no reason to mention in the name. I guarantee you other people heard it. Yep. Anyway, the point of that tweet, and it ran, it's up to almost 300,000 views now. Good. I want every Packer fan to see it because that's not cool. It's not. Playing that internet tough guy stuff and hiding behind a microphone and calling someone a coward. You call another grown man a coward on a microphone. I would pay top dollar to go, hey, let's get them face to face. Call him a coward. I would love to see it. A kid that grew up in South Central Los Angeles and didn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, and they've had to struggle their entire life. And a guy that had a panic attack at the combine and literally missed the combine because he locked himself in his hotel room. You don't know what his childhood was like. You don't know anything. I'm trying not to get emotional, but like you don't know anything about this dude. And you're going to get on a microphone with your scruffy neck beard, acting like you're more important than everybody else.
Yep.
And you're going to get on here and say, he's a coward. Right. We know who
all those things you mentioned, and he still made it to the NFL, and he's improving every year that he's played in the NFL. Yeah, you don't get to where Romeo Doubs got to at this point in his life if you're a coward. Coward would have been a guy that we would have never heard of Romeo Doubs. If he
would have quit. It would have quit JV football, Tim.
Exactly. So you're telling the truth, Clayton. I'm with you 100%.
I'm not going to mention the name. I just wonder if he's got the huevos to stand up and go, hey, guys, I was wrong on that. I guarantee you don't.
I'm not holding my breath. I don't know.
Anyway, enough of that. It's Victory Monday. What the heck am I doing over here? United Bates says we all need a hug like those Doubs hugs. Doesn't matter how tough you are. The team is ascending. Rome, I like this. Rome wasn't the day. That's man.
Bates with the comment of the night so far.
And by the way, that's Bates. That's ex-military. Just so y'all know. That's a guy who's,
there's
as
no
badass
such
as they
thing
are.
as a former Marine.
Right, exactly. It cracks me up that, again, if you have to act like a tough guy on the internet, you're not a tough guy. Tough guys don't hang out on the internet. I promise you that, man. They're not sitting around going, "Let me show y'all how tough I am." It just doesn't happen. Jen Wright, Brooks impressed. Yes, he did. PFF loved him. We're going to talk about those PFF grades here shortly for sure. Let's see. I think we got a couple super chats here. All right. Jason Y says, thank you for the super chat, Jason. Appreciate you, buddy. He says, we have the best wide receiver, running back, and safety rooms in the league. I can't argue with you there, man, from top to bottom. And I think Jaden Reed's grading out as the 18th best wide receiver in the league right now. And that's just PFF. It doesn't even mean that he's that low. But, yeah, I would put our receiving core up against anybody, especially when you've got 87 and 9 on the field. You talk about – and that's the thing that I noticed about the tape too. It felt like they were really trying to take Jaden Reed out of the game plan, although he still got 6 targets, 6 catches. He didn't have a whole lot of yards, but what did it do? It opened it up for Scoot. Well, now that's on tape. Yeah. And by the way, they drew that play up on the sideline. Did y'all hear about that?
Yeah.
Matt LaFleur drew that up on the sideline. It wasn't even in the game plan this week. They had caught it earlier in the year. So they seen something that Buddha was doing. That was Buddha Baker. That dude is been one of the top safeties in the league for.
We cooked him all day.
Yeah.
We cooked Murphy Bunting too, to the point where. I don't want to joke about someone getting hurt, but I noticed that a neck injury popped up and he didn't finish the game. Hopefully he's okay, but it also could be a veteran tactic to avoid further embarrassment as you're getting cooked by this Green Bay receiver core.
And that's probably why those routes look so weird. Like they weren't digs, they weren't really posts. It was kind of like two climb trails, and then the over the top post. And it just bit like nothing, man. And Christian Watson has that speed. We knew it. And like we said, Matt made the adjustment. I'm happy that it happened, during the game. Let's go. You got to be able to do that. If you see something, trust what the players are seeing. They're out there. Matt's on the sideline. You got to trust who's on the field. Yeah,
I swear, I think what they were doing there, when I hear Matt or I hear other people talk about Matt drew that play up on the sideline, I try to reverse engineer and go, okay, what was the original play call? I think it was dagger. But instead of a dig, so you had Christian Watson was supposed to run a go,
right?
And you had the dig underneath, so it was kind of digs,
double, yeah,
is a dagger or a double digs with a slot go essentially. And like you said, there's choice aspects too, so they're reading the depth of the backers, and that's why it kind of turned into that double cross or follow, right? Mm-hmm. And I think what they changed up was, hey, if you bend out just a touch, Christian, why don't you just run a post right there? Give us a post, and you got Buddha on an island, cook him.
Yeah, he's not going to cross your hips. Like we saw it in the next gen. The dude got within maybe a yard at the closest, and then it was 4 or 5 yards of separation, no problem.
Yeah, and the way Christian Watson handled himself all week long, oh man, that dude is the way he rallied around Rome, and he's become a leader. He has. And it
How about the way he came back so quickly from that high ankle sprain? You talk about a guy, everybody, they wanted to call him Glass forever, and he came back and played. I was surprised, man. That was awesome.
That was an interesting exchange too, man, with the high ankle, right? His dad got on Twitter and was like, that's not a high ankle. And that Twitter doctor was like, yes, it is, Tazim. Like it wasn't his name. He's like, what? So you're telling me you understand my son's injury more than I do? Like, what are we?
If you guys follow Papa Scoot at all on Twitter, he will regulate real quick on anybody talking anything crazy. Papa Scoot is going to dead that right away. I love it.
Yeah, and he's straightforward. I've never had a problem with him. There's some guys are like, I don't like the way he handles himself on Twitter and this. And it's like, why don't you quit dogging his son? Go back, see the original comments. If you wouldn't say it to their face, don't say it on Twitter. Maybe he wouldn't.
Wake up, people. To them, they're athletes and players. To family, that's his son. That's his child. He's a father first, right? I mean, You're going to defend your own.
Absolutely. Dennis Shook in the chat. Appreciate the super chat, buddy. Says Clayton got me amped up right now. So, sorry about it. It'll subside here in a second. Appreciate the super chat, buddy. Romero, good to see you in there, buddy. Says Clayton got that dog in him tonight. Metal yellow. All right. Yeah, I get okay. Yeah, see, you got that's how you know.
Yeah, our guys better wake up with their piss hot, like I said before. So.
Need a pep talk, call Clayton.
Fred McFarley said Clayton Mormon all our piss. That sounds kind of bad. To be honest with you. And Ari Ironmeyer said that's right. Okay, Clater. Hey, I like it. We'll take it. Mater, Clater, whatever you want to call me. I don't care. I don't mean to get so dramatic. It just that stuff drives me. Anyway. It's funny, right before we went live, I'm like, it's Victory Monday, baby. Listen, positive, upbeat. We're going to talk about the positives that happen in the game. I get on here and go on a rant like a moron. That's why this show sucks. Coach Lynn says this team is special. I see it 100. I agree, man. It definitely feels different from think back to 2020 and 2021 when they won 13 games. This feels different.
Yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm. It really does. So
it does.
Kind of has more of a 2009, 2010 feel to me, but I'm just saying.
Seeing relationships build, trust being built, it's all kind of working its magic behind the scenes.
Yep. I didn't know this. Ron Sample says Hopper 3 tackles on teams yesterday. That's absolutely awesome.
Love it.
It's a big stat there. Dennis Shook, no more rocket balls, please. Talking about love earlier. Andrew James in the chat says traveling from Los Angeles for the game this week. Packers going to be 5-2. Let's go.
Nice.
Love it.
Yeah. Safe travels, buddy. Enjoy Lambeau. You go into the wideout game. This is the one we earmarked. I think Tom Brady's calling this game too, so it's like the Fox game of the week. Houston Texans coming to Lambeau. The battle of two really good young quarterbacks.
Possible Super Bowl preview.
The all whites too, with the white helmets and the white. Ooh.
This is going to be a great test too. Like this is a good measuring stick game. Right. Let's see how the Packers. We seen they lost to the Vikings by 2 points. The Vikings are still undefeated in the league, so that's a good test there. This is going to be a great kind of cross AFC test and see how well they play because they're going to come to play, man. There's no two ways about it. Their defense is very similar to ours with the way D'Amico Ryans calls a game. They got great edge rushers as long as everybody's healthy. I haven't dove into their injuries much. Obviously, C.J. Stroud is an absolute dog. They've got a lot of things that they do well. I'm on puppy patrol tonight, so if you guys hear them bark, I apologize. My brother's dog getting in the chair right now. Let me get up here and get comfortable. This idiot's going to talk football for hours. But, yeah, it's going to be a great game, man. Congratulations there, buddy. Like I said, safe travels, man. Thanks for coming across the country and supporting the Pack. Dan Lang said the energy in the stadium when 87 scored was outstanding. That first touchdown happened in front of us and was just unbelievable athleticism. So there you hear what it was like in the stadium from Mr. Dan. I bet it was absolutely awesome, man. J. Cole says he's an introvert. There's nothing wrong with that. Amen. We need people like that in the world too, right? Yep. We need the Matt Ramages. Don't get me wrong. Those dudes that'll keep you laughing and they're outgoing and they're the life of the party, right?
Yep.
But you need those introverts too, for sure. Mandy refers to, I'm an introvert, whether you guys believe it or not. Mandy always refers to me as the stick in the mud, but she's the life of the party, is she not?
Oh, 100%.
She keeps everything going, right? She's the secret here, but it's funny too. Usually those opposites are like the perfect couple because when she gets out of control, I'm like, hey, girl, come on, calm down, right? And when I'm ready to strangle somebody, she's like, hey, knucklehead, stop being like that. So it works out good.
It does.
John Schmidt says the football gods gave us this division so we could be tested by fire on our way to the trophy. I like that mindset. It's fun, man, when the NFC North is good, guys. And they are on fire right now. By the way, I don't know if you guys and gals seen it, but that Aiden Hutchinson injury, whoo-wee, man. That was tough to watch. I wish I hadn't seen it. Listen, it's a division opponent, and that's going to really, really hurt the Lions who were looking. I mean, you've seen what they did to Dallas, but you don't wish that on anyone, obviously, any kind of injury. But that's like, I don't know how you guys feel about it. That's almost like career threatening. You know what I mean?
It is.
Yeah. And life threatening in some cases with the different, veins and arteries in your leg.
Yeah, right. That's why they got him into surgery immediately. That's serious. And yeah, you look ahead to, well, yeah, he's done for the year. Us as fans were like, oh, he's done for the year. Impact to Detroit's defense, and it's like, yeah, those things are true, but it's like, what about next year? What about going forward? What about him in his personal life, walking around, even being able to, we saw what Eric Stokes was in a wheelchair last year, for crying out loud.
I forgot all about that. You're
right.
Yeah.
And to see this man playing football again is It's amazing. And it's like, yeah, man, your heart goes out to these guys, division rival or not. And trust you me, I am not a Detroit Lions fan. Okay. But hey, if you see it, you got to say it. Aiden Hutchinson is, a premier player in this league. And you hate to see a guy go down like that, especially on that play, it was kind of just a fluke thing. Bodies are crashing into each other. His leg kind of just, swung out wrong. And it's tough, man. Part of the game, but, your thoughts and prayers go out to him for sure.
Definitely. As we get ready to wrap up hour one here, just want to drop this news here. Bill Huber tweeted out, LaFleur says he doesn't think Dontavion Wicks' shoulder injury is a long-term concern. They'll give him the week. So sounds like he will not go on IR. That's great news. He made the play there. It didn't make chalk talk, but I don't know if you guys remember the yak that he got underneath play. I think it was on third down where he picked up the first down underneath. Really, really nice play there for Tay Wicks. I believe
great blocking too in the run game.
Oh yeah, always, man, always. So that's going to do it for hour one. For those of you listening on the pod, we appreciate y'all hanging out with us. We'll see you on the other side for hour two.